We have a special Torah reading today because we are not in the book of Deuteronomy where we've been for the last way over a month. We've been in Deuteronomy. We just finished the book of Deuteronomy last night as a community with our Simchat Torah celebration, but we're at Sukkot. We are in the holiday of Sukkot, the Feast of Booths. And so we have a special Torah reading just for this holiday that's read at the festival. So we go back to the book of Exodus on the holiday of Sukkot and read Kitisa, Parshat Kitisa. So actually the rabbis say that the anniversary of Kitisa, the actual day that Kitisa happened on in the desert, was Yom Kippur. Why was that important to them to make that connection? Because Kitisa is the story of the building of the golden calf. One of the most embarrassing episodes of Israelite history was so soon after receiving Torah, the first thing they did was Moses was delayed on the mountain, and so they panic and they build a golden calf and have that be their representation of God. So a lot of people think their sin is idolatry, that they're worshiping a foreign god. That doesn't seem to be the problem, actually. It seems to be that they lift up this calf and say, this is Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. This is Adonai, your God, who brought you out of Egypt. So the problem is not that they're worshiping a different God. They're worshiping the same God. The problem is they needed that God to be represented by something familiar to them. Something that they could get their head and hearts around because it was too scary once Moses was gone for too long. And that's exactly what we do when we panic, right? We turn to what's familiar, we turn to what's comforting, and we say, this is the ultimate. This is the solution. And generally, it's just a golden calf. Because we've been hanging out in Egypt, right? So we see it on TV. If I have that, I'll feel better. Because that's the ultimate source of feeling better, is what they just advertised to me. If I take that vacation, all of a sudden my life, right, will be fabulous. This is what we do all the time. And the Israelites get in big trouble for this, of course, for this losing of perspective and losing of faith, and they have a very hard time of it for a bit. But the rabbis point to the fact that on Yom Kippur they say, this is the parsha we're at, is that God forgives the people and gives them a second set of tablets. Moses, when he sees what's going on, of course, rips up the contract. People think he's mad. He doesn't throw them because he's mad, we hope. He takes the symbol of the agreement between the people and God and breaks them because they have broken the contract. So Moshe in our parsha goes up and gets a second set of tablets, but God says, this time you make the tablets. This time you do some work. I gave you the last set as a gift and look what happened. This time you do a little work for it. And both God and the people have to take a big step in forgiving one another and understanding who they really are. And God seems to understand that the covenant made with his people is going to mean some bumps along the way. And for me, what's important about that second set of tablets is that's the covenant that we're living into today. That's the covenant that Jewish people still have with the divine. And our long conversation with the divine is one after a big mess up. Because that's the relationship that lasts, right? When you love someone and they've deeply hurt you and disappointed you, even betrayed you. We all know close relationships that really have called from us the ability to say, okay, I see you, I get it, we mess up. And we have the ability to forgive one another and the ability to figure out how to move forward in a way that we can both accept who we are more realistically, because those are the relationships that last. Ours is over 2,000 years now. So may we each figure out how to do that in our communities, how to do that in this country, and have our country be again an example and model for that in this world. Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Yasher Koach, Kol HaKavod.